Disaster strikes, Waitress sings to save her mom, unexpectedly captivating a widowed billionaire. Sarah wiped down the counter for what felt like the 100th time, the flickering neon sign of the diner casting an otherworldly glow. The clatter of dishes and the laugh of regulars hummed around her, but in her mind, a storm raged. Her mother's hospital bills piled up, a mountain of debts that threatened to suffocate her hope. Every shift, every table she served felt like an attempt to claw back control in a world that spun recklessly out of reach. With each customer, she wore a mask, a smile that belied her anxiety. "Can I get you anything else?" she'd chirp, feeling her heart ache with the weight of unspoken fears. What if they couldn't pay the next bill? What would happen if her mother needed another treatment? Would she have to take a second job, set aside more dreams of singing? A sudden shout from a patron broke her reverie, jolting her back to the present. "Hey Sarah! Are you coming to karaoke night?" A mix of teasing and encouragement filled the air, but she hesitated. The thought of stepping on that stage felt overwhelming and terrifying. Her throat tightened as the idea of singing confronted her with the full brunt of her reality. What if she wasn't good enough? What if she poured herself into that song and it fell flat? Could she handle more embarrassment? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. The minutes ticked away as she served coffee, splashed ketchup on plates, her mind racing with the dilemma. Karaoke could be her chance to feel alive, but what if it turned into another failure? Her mother's face, a blend of strength and pain, haunted her. Could she justify a few moments in the spotlight when her mother was fighting for each breath? A lump formed in her throat, and she squeezed the dish towel tight. Each moment of indecision deepened the weight she bore. The stage was calling, but so was her mother's weak voice echoing in her mind, pleading for support. She felt stuck between two worlds, the need to break free from her sacrifices and the responsibility echoing through her home. Would she be selfish to chase her dreams when the promises she'd made to her mother loomed larger? At that moment, as the karaoke spotlight flickered on, her heart raced with tumultuous conflict. What awaited her out there? A chance to be seen, or a risk to lay bare her fears? Doubt gnawed at her. She could feel the eyes of the regulars on her, and suddenly, the lively atmosphere turned stifling. The only thing louder than the crowd was the debate raging in her gut, a crescendo of fear pushing her toward that fragile edge. Suddenly, everything felt poised on a precipice. Fighting familiar pangs of desperation and longing, Sarah realized she was at a crossroads, a decision brimming with uncertainty, with the pulse of possibility. If she chose to step up, was she sacrificing her mother's struggle for her own fleeting moment of joy? Or could this be the beginning of something life-changing? With every breath, she grappled with this emotional tidal wave, torn between duty and desire. Would stepping onto that stage bring her closer to a new life, or would it shatter the already frayed threads of her reality? Time hung like a tightrope, and Sarah stood at the edge, ready to leap into the unknown. Sarah's pulse thudded in her ears as the spotlight beckoned her in a glow of warmth, yet it felt colder than the reality she was escaping. The echoes of laughter and clinking glass started to blur, replaced by a singular voice, her own. Would she honor it, or let it drown beneath the practical demands of her life? She looked toward the small crowd, familiar yet intimidating, and felt a twinge of regret at the unfulfilled dreams flashing before her. For a moment, she stood paralyzed, the weight of her mother's struggles colliding with her own desires. All the years of practice in the shower, all the yearning to be heard and seen, collided in an agonizing torrent of responsibility and aspiration. Each second felt like a decade, and she questioned her every breath, wondering if she would ever emerge if she stepped off the known path. The karaoke hostess' inclusive smile drew her closer to the stage, like a lighthouse welcoming a ship in the storm. "Come on, Sarah. We want to hear you." The words were an echo of encouragement, but they ignited a deeper conflict within her. Was seeking her own happiness an act of betrayal against her mother's hardships? She considered the sacrifices made, the sleepless nights, the whispered worries about money that filled their small apartment. As her fingers tightened around the microphone, she had an inkling that claiming a moment for herself wouldn't diminish her care for her mother. Maybe it could empower her instead. Breathless and bracing for the noise in her heart, Sarah took a step toward the edge of the stage. The world, previously tuned to muted chaos, surged with vibrant anticipation. Every footfall chipped away at her apprehension. And then, without setting her intentions in full clarity, she closed her eyes and whispered her mother's name, drawing strength from that bond. The music kicked in, pulsing against her skin, and like a wave crashing upon the shore, something within her stirred an inextinguishable need to be more than the waitress defined by economic desperation. She opened her mouth and sang, initially shy and unsure, but the melody transformed those fears into something tangible, releasing an energy that ignited the air. Each note rippled outward, instinct probing through her consciousness, becoming an embrace that reconciled her desires with her commitment to her mother. The crowd's rising cheer was a momentary balm against her unease, reaffirming that this act was never solely about her. It was about declaring that hope and joy could coexist amidst the bleakest circumstances. As she finished, hands shaking yet alive, she met the eyes of the audience, some familiar, others intrigue-filled and new. Sparks danced in her chest, and for the first time, she sensed a possibility, a connection that could spiral into something bigger than herself. But there was more to discover beyond this fleeting moment. Inside, something shifted profoundly. Was this truly the turning point she had yearned for? Could her moment on that stage translate into an opportunity, a glimmer of light against the burden she carried? As she stepped off, exhilaration battled with anxiety. What awaited her now? Then, amidst the buzz of excited chatter, she caught sight of a striking figure lingering at the back, an intensity in his gaze that sent shivers down her spine. The weight of fate danced in the air, and she could almost hear the universe whispering this was only just the beginning. Could this encounter lead her to the answers she desperately sought, reshaping her path forever? Sarah's heart raced as she stepped down from the stage, still buoyed by the adrenaline of her performance. The cheers and applause gradually faded, but she was left with an exhilaration she'd never experienced before. It was as if she had unlocked a hidden door within herself, revealing a path lined with possibilities. Yet, uncertainty loomed. What would she do with this chance now staring her in the face? The striking figure at the back of the room didn't stray from her thoughts as she scoured the crowd for a familiar comfort. She felt a magnetic pull toward him, an undertow of connection that left her profoundly unsettled. She hadn't just sung, she had bared a piece of herself, and the prospect of rejection now felt sharper than it had moments before. "Wow, you've got a real talent." A voice interrupted her spiraling thoughts. It was the karaoke host, his enthusiasm infectious. "I'd say that was one of the best performances we've had in a while. You should consider stepping into the spotlight more often." His kind words flattered her, but they also ignited a burgeoning desire to explore this newfound identity beyond the confines of her current life. "Maybe," she replied, voice tinged with disbelief. Could she really break free from the waitress job that had been both her anchor and her anchor? As the audience began to disperse, Sarah wandered toward the bar, seeking a moment to collect herself. The striking figure still lingered in the periphery, his gaze unwavering and contemplative. She felt a deep breath hitch in her throat as she recalled the way he had looked at her, like she wasn't just another unremarkable face but someone worth noticing. "Excuse me." He finally approached, his voice unexpectedly warm. "I'm David." He extended a hand, the confidence radiating from him palpable. "You were incredible up there." "Thank you," she said, shaking his hand and feeling a jolt of electricity shoot through her. "I'm Sarah." "Nice to meet you, Sarah. I don't usually come to these things, but something drew me here tonight." The way he spoke was thoughtful, as if he were absorbing more than just her performance. Do you perform often? That was actually my first time. The words slipped out, but she didn't flinch. Admitting it felt liberating. I've always wanted to sing more, but life gets in the way. Life is filled with distractions, isn't it? He smiled, a hint of understanding in his eyes. I know what that's like. His sincerity grounded her. She wasn't merely speaking to a stranger, she was sharing a fragment of her own journey. The conversation shifted from small talk to a deeper exploration of dreams deferred and aspirations overlooked. With each exchange, Sarah felt layers of herself peeling away, revealing ambitions she had buried beneath obligations. Have you ever thought about taking singing lessons? David asked, his voice steady. I know a few people who could help you get started. His offer sent a thrill down her spine mixed with fear and excitement. Would pursuing singing signal a shift in her reality? The fragility of her world juxtaposed with the boldness of his suggestion challenged her to consider daring choices. What if I fail? What if taking a chance only leads to disappointment? Or what if it leads to something amazing? He countered, the intensity of his gaze unwavering. You won't know unless you try. In that moment, Sarah recognized a pivotal juncture in her life, one that intertwined with the encouragement of a stranger who could offer her more than mere compliments. As the night wore on, she exchanged numbers with David, both unsure of where this connection might lead. His presence had activated something inside her that resisted denial. Yet, part of her hesitated, clinging to her old life, fearing the transformation that loomed ahead. Hours after the event, alone in her small apartment, she mulled over the conversation. Why was she afraid to leap forward? Was it the discomfort of change or the stubborn loyalty to her past that held her back? Her phone pinged with a text from David, simple yet electrifying, look forward to hearing your voice again. She stared at the screen, pulse quickening as doubt gnawed at her resolve. Then, amidst the chaos of her thoughts, a whisper of burgeoning determination arose. Perhaps it was time to step truly into her voice, one way or another. What would she choose? Would she seize this opportunity or retreat back to the safety of her old life? As she pondered over the silent question, a sense of urgency rushed in. Tomorrow could shatter her world, yet it could also illuminate a new one. The following day dawned with an unusual brightness that filtered through Sarah's half-drawn curtains, illuminating the clutter of her small apartment. She lay in bed, a whirlwind of thoughts battling for supremacy in her mind. She had never considered a life beyond the monotony of her waitress job until last night's performance. Could she really explore the depths of her talent? Could she transform that spark into a flame? With a familiar sense of dread curling in her stomach, she rolled out of bed and faced her reflection in the bathroom mirror. There was a haunting mixture of excitement and fear in her eyes, the reality of taking the next step looming just outside her front door. What if she failed? What if David's encouraging words turned out to be empty flattery? Sarah shook her head, willing herself to focus. She had faced struggles before, perhaps this was just another hurdle to overcome. A thought struck her: her mother's health had been declining, and the burden of unpaid bills weighed heavily on her mind. A career in music could potentially bring in a much-needed income. But to chase that dream, she would have to change course entirely, setting aside the life she had always known. In the small coffee shop where she worked, Sarah poured steaming mugs of coffee while her thoughts churned over the idea of voice lessons and performing regularly. Her shift progressed in autopilot, serving customers with a bright smile while internally grappling with her decisions. David's encouragement echoed in her mind, reminding her to embrace the uncertainty instead of hiding from it. When her break arrived, she took a deep breath and opened her phone to text David. I've been thinking about your offer, can you send me those contacts for singing lessons? The reply was instant. Absolutely. You won't regret it. Let's set up a time to chat later. Each time she read his message, she felt the weight of her fears lift just a little more. Was it possible that this was the nudge she needed to step away from fear and into action? The day trudged on, the hum of the cafe and the chatter of customers slowly fading into the background. Reality set in when she finished her shift and headed home. The walls of her apartment felt different, the air pulsing with potential instead of the staleness of old habits. Sarah spent the evening researching local music instructors, her heart racing each time she clicked on a video showcasing their students. She absorbed every note, every technique, remembering her own voice the way it resonated through the bar just hours before. The memory sent shivers down her spine. Could her voice be the key to a brighter future? As night descended, she finally found the courage to fill out forms for a nearby music school. It felt as if she was birthing a piece of herself previously confined to the shadows. Was that really her soul craving to be nurtured and allowed to flourish? In that moment of creation, doubt clouded her exhilaration. Her mother still needed care. Financial strains threatened to crush her aspirations before they even began. Could she really take this leap when so much was at stake? Yet, another pulse of determination surfaced within her as she embraced the thrill of possibility. She did not want to live her life forever anchored down by fear and what-ifs. If she failed, she'd learn. If she succeeded, the horizon would broaden in ways she had yet to imagine. The phone buzzed again. David had sent her an encouraging message about a nearby open mic night. "It's happening tomorrow. You should come, it's a great place to get your feet wet." Sarah felt her enthusiasm clash with anxiety. Should she really expose herself so soon? Was she ready? The question spiraled again, but this time there was a burgeoning conviction within her, a need to confront the terrifying unknown. As she lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, the whisper became a loud roar. What if this is the moment that changes everything? Closing her eyes, she sank into the idea, letting it cradle her hopes. Tomorrow came with the invitation to rise or retreat. When she saw David at the open mic, would it solidify her resolve, or would the fear consume her? The decision approached, pushing against her chest like a weighty tide. The moment she had dreaded and desired was nearly at hand. As the morning sun carved patterns across her bedroom floor, Sarah inhaled deeply, feeling the weight of the day ahead settle on her shoulders. Today was not just another Tuesday, it was the open mic night that David had convinced her to attend. She had avoided mirrors since last night, but now she found herself drawn to one, her fingers tracing along the outline of her jaw, analyzing the self-doubt and determination swirling in her eyes. The upcoming performance raced like wildfire in her mind. What if she stumbled over lyrics? What if the audience ridiculed her? But the flash of David's enthusiastic encouragement flickered in her memory the way he had spoken about her voice with awe, igniting a tiny flame of hope within her. After agonizing over what to wear, she opted for a simple black dress, comfortable yet a touch elegant. As she pulled it over her head, a sudden realization struck. She was not merely preparing for an evening of singing, she was stepping into a world that cultivated ambition, inspiration, and self-discovery. Each step from her apartment to the performance venue felt like a declaration of intent. With every crack of the asphalt underfoot, her anxiety transformed into focus. She had her mother's well-being on her mind, a paralyzing blend of fear and a flicker of hope pressing her forward into the unknown. Upon entering the cafe, the familiar atmosphere felt electric, alive with voices and laughter. She scanned the room for David, and as soon as she spotted him, a rush of relief surged through her. He gestured for her to join him at a small table. "You made it!" he exclaimed. "I almost didn't," she admitted, forcing a smile that only partially masked her nerves. David leaned in, sincerity etched on his face. "You have something special, Sarah. I know it. Channel that energy." Those words somewhat soothed her thoughts, but they also ignited a newfound pressure. What if she let that something special down? The other performers, each taking their turn on stage, instilled a mix of awe and dread within her. With every song, she felt her heart race faster. When it was finally her turn, she stood, legs trembling, a flicker of desperation battling within her. The stage illuminated her in a soft glow as she took the mic, the crowd's murmurs fading into stark silence. She closed her eyes for a brief moment, imagining the audience as a welcoming embrace rather than a judgmental gaze. She began to sing a popular ballad she had listened to countless times. The melody enveloped her, drowning out the clamor of her doubts. For the first time, she felt the words resonate through her entire being. Each note she hit was an assertion of resilience, an echo of her journey to this moment. She sang not only for herself but for her mother, their struggles intertwined in every breath she took. Midway through her performance, she caught sight of David in the crowd, his eyes gleaming with approval, a nod that pushed her even further. For the first time, she felt the release of tension, passion spilling from her heart through her voice. The applause that rang out upon finishing her song enveloped her like a warm hug, filling up every crevice of doubt left within her. Then, far back in the cafe, she noticed a figure, a man sitting alone, his attention locked on her. He was distinguished, with a charisma that felt palpable even from a distance. For a fleeting moment, their eyes connected and she felt almost exposed but strangely empowered. As she stepped off the stage, exhilaration swirled with a healthy dose of fear. She had faced the unknown, and the exhilaration of overcoming that trepidation was electrifying. Yet, the man's gaze lingered on her mind. David approached, his enthusiasm effervescent. "You were incredible. See? I told you." Inside, however, a different storm brewed. Whether it was the unexpected sense of accomplishment or the way that enigmatic stranger regarded her, she sensed this was just the beginning. What would this moment lead to? Would she continue to embrace her potential, or would the fear that haunted her trail her down the path she was starting to forge? Seated at the table across from David, she felt a shift, a new beginning unfurling before her. But lurking behind that excitement rested the unsettling thought: who was that man, and why did his presence feel like the promise of something greater or the threat of everything unraveling? As the evening unfolded, there loomed an unsettling question in her mind: was it the applause she sought, or was it the connection she had sensed that night? The night glimmered with possibilities, yet Sarah's pulse quickened with the remnants of uncertainty. David's exuberant praise washed over her, but the echo of the enigmatic man's gaze haunted her thoughts. With a cocktail of exhilaration and disbelief, she wondered if she was brave enough to embrace what lay ahead. The applause still rang in her ears, but the weight of the stranger's attention felt heavier than any success. As the evening wore on, she struggled to shake the connection she had felt on stage. It was a fleeting moment, but one that lingered, simmering beneath the surface, fueling her curiosity and her restlessness. David chatted animatedly, recounting tales from when he had first performed at open mics, but Sarah was only half listening. Her heart was trapped in a dance between ambition and fear of what trusting that spark might mean. "You should ask him to come talk to us," David urged, his gaze drifting back toward the man still seated in the shadowy corner of the cafe. His voice was playful, but intensity flickered in his eyes, as if he understood the uncharted territory Sarah found herself navigating. She met David's gaze, apprehension glistening in her eyes. "I don't know. What do I even say? Hi, I'm Sarah, and I totally noticed you staring at me while I tried not to drown in my own anxiety." David chuckled lightly, but there was a seriousness in his response. "Just be real. If you want to know more about him, go talk to him. What's the worst that could happen?" "What indeed?" The worst that could happen echoed through her, mingling with the thrill of possibility. Yet, as appealing as the prospect of a conversation with the man seemed, peeling away the layers to uncover her own motivations terrified her. "Maybe I should just focus on improving," she suggested, turning her attention back to the stage, watching the next performer command the room with confident ease. "Improving is great, but don't shy away from connections. You could walk that path if you wanted," David said. His enthusiasm was infectious, yet harsh reality tugged at Sarah. What if her ambitions exceeded her capabilities? In that moment, she realized she was not merely contemplating the stage, she was staring out into the abyss of her own limits. After several more performances, her indecision pressed down on her like a heavy fog. The audience was still alive with laughter and cheers, but Sarah felt as if she were immersed in startling silence. The man across the room hadn't budged, his presence waited, pivotal, and complicated. "What is your plan?" David asked, nudging her shoulder as he noticed her distant demeanor. She turned to him, trying to find clarity in the swirling chaos of her thoughts. The thrill of pursuit tugged at her deep-seated aspirations. But her fears threatened to root her in place. "I can't let this slip away, David. Not now." "Then don't. Go talk to him," he encouraged, a soft firmness lacing his voice as if he believed in her more than she believed in herself. In the haze of soft cafe lights and buoyant laughter, she took a deep breath, steeling herself. She had spent her life keeping her head down, playing it safe, and allowing her insecurities to tether her. This might be the first step in unraveling the potential she had scarcely dared to acknowledge. As she rose from her seat, a feeling swept over her, an exhilarating resolve that rippled through her veins. Each step toward the man felt like a small act of rebellion against the doubts that had long governed her life. The moment her gaze locked with his once again, she realized this wasn't just a pursuit of validation. This was about embracing who she could become. Yet, the uncertainty of his reaction loomed like a dark specter. Would this stranger amplify her journey, or would he expose her fragility? With her heart racing and 1,000 questions spiraling in her mind, Sarah couldn't shake the thought, what if this moment would change everything? As she approached, a voice inside whispered that there could be more to discover about herself than she'd ever imagined. And as she drew nearer, the atmosphere vibrated with a promise of confrontation. Would she seize the opportunity, or retreat back into the shadows of her fears? The path ahead was vivid yet fraught with uncertainty, and for the first time, she might just have to confront whatever lay beyond her own reflection. With each step, the weight of expectation pressed in on Sarah, melding her uncertainty with an electric anticipation. As she drew closer to the man, she could feel the electric current of possibility thrumming beneath her skin, making every heartbeat feel like an echo of the performance that had just passed. She barely registered the sounds around her, the clinking of glasses, the soft laughter. Everything faded until only he remained in focus. The stranger seemed to sense her approach, his eyes lifting from the table, pinning her in place with their intensity. She stumbled into a smile, a mix of hope and hesitation crossing her face. "Hey," she managed, her voice wavering slightly like the strings of a guitar strummed nervously. "I'm Sarah. I noticed you during my set." He returned her smile, an inscrutable expression playing on his lips as he motioned for her to join him. "I'm Alex," he said, his voice deep and smooth, weaving around her like silk. "You were captivating on stage." The compliment sparkled in the air and sent a rush of warmth to her cheeks. This moment was all too surreal. "Thank you. That means a lot, especially coming from someone who clearly watches performances closely." "I've seen my fair share," he replied, leaning forward slightly, his gaze unwavering. "You have something special. I could see it." Her heart raced with a blend of pride and disbelief. Here was a man, someone she initially perceived as distant and enigmatic, acknowledging a part of her she'd only recently started to believe existed. Yet, beneath the thrill of validation lay an unsettling doubt. What if this connection was just an illusion, a fleeting moment that would disappear once reality set in? To fend off the unease, she shifted the conversation towards him. "So, what brings you to this little cafe?" "Heard about it from a friend. The passion here is palpable even if it's masked by a bit of chaos." His eyes sparkled with a hint of shared understanding, as if he too understood the balance between chaos and ambition. Sarah chuckled, the sound easing her tension slightly. "True. Performing here can feel like navigating a minefield." As they spoke, she sensed the current of their conversation edging towards something deeper. They exchanged stories, laughter weaving a tapestry of camaraderie. Sarah found herself speaking more openly than she had anticipated, revealing her experiences and ambitions. With each word, the facade she had built was slowly dismantled, layer by layer. But just as her confidence began to swell, a flicker of doubt surfaced. Was she unveiling too much? What was it that Alex truly wanted from her? This dynamic felt charged and precarious. Beneath the surface of their growing connection, needling questions danced darkly. Did he see her as nothing more than an interesting story, a whimsical distraction? Is there a dream you're chasing? Alex leaned into the moment, curiosity glimmering in his eyes. The question ignited a flame within her. This was her opportunity to break free from the confines of expectation. I want to take my singing beyond these walls, she admitted, her voice gaining steadiness. I want to make it my life, not just an escape. He nodded, as if weighing her words carefully. Then you must push through that fear. The world could benefit from your voice. Something shifted inside her, a small, fierce determination igniting at his validation. Here was someone who not only saw her talent but believed in its power. Yet, mingling with her newfound resolve was a creeping anxiety. This encouragement came with responsibility. What if she failed? But for now, she was caught up in the moment, cautiously bold. Maybe embracing vulnerability didn't equate to weakness after all. Just then, an unsettling thought broke through the surface. What if this emerging connection with Alex offered her guidance only to lead her down a path of profound self-discovery and perhaps, self-doubt? Was she ready to navigate that tumultuous terrain? The stakes felt higher than she anticipated. Would she crash into the whirlwind of personal ambition? He presented, and what if doing so meant grappling with her deepest fears? The atmosphere thickened with unspoken potential as Sarah locked eyes with Alex, something profound passing between them. She was at a crossroads, straddling her fledgling dream and the intriguing connection growing before her. Would she lean into this moment, or would it slip through her fingers just like the applause from last night? The question loomed: could this serendipitous encounter be the catalyst she desperately needed? And if it was, what consequences might it unveil? As the conversation lingered, Sarah felt the world drawing in tighter around them, the cafe's ambience fading into a dim backdrop where only their exchange mattered. Alex's gaze held her as if networking threads of fate had intertwined, forming a unique bond in that intimate space. But underneath her desire to embrace this connection lay the echoes of her insecurities. Tell me more about your journey, Alex prompted, peeling back layers she kept closely guarded. She could feel the weight of his expectation, urging openness. Yet, each word she considered was charged with the fear of vulnerability. What if I share too much and he loses interest? The thought flitted through her mind like a specter, casting chilly shadows of self-doubt. But she also recognized this as a crossroads, a chance for genuine connection that might form the foundation of her aspirations. Taking a deep breath, she leaned in, her voice trembling yet determined. I grew up singing in my room, it was my escape. I always imagined sharing that escape with the world, but she hesitated, mentally grappling with her fears, but I'm terrified of failure. I worry that my dreams are too big for me. Alex's expression shifted slightly, his intensity softening. That's normal. Every artist questions their path. But what truly matters is whether you're willing to fight for it, despite the fear. She flinched slightly, a tumultuous wave coursing through her. Fight? It felt heavy and foreboding. What if it's a battle I can't win? His eyes narrowed, his voice steady. Then you learn and grow. Don't let the fear of the fall prevent you from leaping. You'll never know what's on the other side if you don't take the risk. In that moment, Sarah felt the stirrings of an awakening within her. What if the very doubts keeping her anchored, those shadows of inadequacy, were the stepping stones to her evolution as an artist? The path ahead appeared daunting, marked by the wreckage of countless what-ifs and failures, but it pulsed with electrifying potential nonetheless. Reflecting on his words, she considered the profound truth layered within. You make it sound so simple, she replied, a mixture of admiration and skepticism curdling her ambition. Simple doesn't equate to easy, Alex replied, a knowing glint in his eyes. Every artist dances with their inner demons. The key is to take that discomfort and aim it at your craft. Use it to fuel your growth. For the first time, she allowed herself to visualize what that meant, a future not stifled by the fear of judgment but driven by her authentic voice. Just then, an idea sparked inside her, igniting a rush of energy. Perhaps this conversation could be a gateway, not just to self-discovery, but to forging tangible steps toward her dream if she dared to embrace it. What if I started composing my own songs? Tell my own stories, she pondered aloud. The thought propelled her heart rate, flinging her into a new realm of possibility. Yes. That vulnerability could be your greatest strength, Alex encouraged, a genuine smile spreading across his face. It's the rawness that resonates with people. You'll find your audience when you show them the real you. A storm of thoughts collided in her mind, possibilities spiraling into focus. But courage felt elusive, fluttering just beyond her reach. What if exposing her truth only illuminated her flaws? Yet knowing Alex believed in her ignited a flicker of bravado, daring her to chase that vision. Just when she felt grounded in her revelations, a fresh wave of panic surged. What if sharing her songs opened herself up to scrutiny? The thought paralyzed her, yet an inner voice persisted. You can't shy away from your heart's desires. The room constricted around her, colors swirling as she fought through the tide of conflicting emotions. There was an urgency wrapping around her, a need to seize this moment. Maybe I'll do it, she choked out, her voice trembling. Maybe I can try performing my own song. Alex's expression brightened, a mixture of pride and excitement lighting his features. Then let's make that happen. Let me help you. Help. The word hung heavily as anticipation and anxiety crisscrossed her thoughts. Could she truly embrace this new direction? But the sharp reality struck her as the cafe's entrance swung open, an exhilarating gust of wind heralding someone unmistakable, her mother. The woman's weary eyes scanned the room, and for a fleeting moment, doubt shattered Sarah's resolve. Suddenly, the stakes elevated, encapsulating her decision within a more profound dilemma. Would she understand? His words echoed, blending uncertainty with a breathtaking confrontation. As she recognized the intersection of her hopes, ambitions, and familial expectations, Sarah felt the weight of the world press down, the vibrant tension pulling taut. Could she approach the brink of authentic expression under the attentive gaze of the one person whose opinions meant the most and risk everything? Clarity shimmered in her mind as Sarah squared her shoulders, heart racing with a heady mix of exhilaration and trepidation. It was time to transform doubt into action, to unravel her narrative with a song of her own. Okay, she declared resolutely, her fingers gripping the table's edge. Let us do this. And as she spoke, the impending storm of her decision loomed larger, a catastrophic confrontation brewing just beneath the surface. Would facing her fears ultimately unravel her, or could it become the very triumph she sought? Each heartbeat pulsed with potential. The moment of truth was on the horizon. The air felt electric as Sarah squared her shoulders, ready to face the turmoil that lay within the undercurrents of her decision. She released a breath long held, the shadow of her mother's expectations looming larger with each second that ticked away. The restaurant buzzed around them, shifting from an intimate corner of discovery to a cacophony of potential judgment. Sarah. Her mother's voice sliced through the chatter, carrying a mixture of disbelief and protective concern. A familiar ache settled in the pit of Sarah's stomach, a weight she had carried for years. Would her mother understand this burgeoning dream, or would it signal betrayal of the security she sought to uphold? Mom, can I talk to you for a second? Sarah forced the words from her throat, brittle and unsure. The interaction felt like uncharted territory, a crossing into a realm where her truth might clash with her family's reality. As she stood, a rush of adrenaline propelled her toward confrontation. Her mother approached, furrows of concern etching deeper across her forehead. What is going on? Concern clawed at Sarah's insides, and she felt time suspend in the awkward quiet between them. Alex just helped me to realize something, she began, her voice wavering as doubt dripped through her confidence. I want to start performing my own songs. The words hung heavy in the air, filling the surrounding silence with gravitas. Her mother's unreadable expression left Sarah questioning if she was venturing into a battleground. Performing? You know how I feel about that, Sarah. It's risky. The dismissal cut deep, igniting a flicker of rebellion within her. But isn't that what art is? It's about taking risks, stepping out of safety to actually live. Disappointment dripped from her mother's response, cold and stinging like rain on bare skin. Sarah, think of your future. Singers get hurt, they get crushed by the industry. What if you fail? The weight of each word settled like a stone in Sarah's chest. The fears her mother articulated echoed her own, casting a shadow over the resolve she had just begun to cultivate. Mom, she pleaded, what if this is who I am? What if I don't try and regret it for the rest of my life? Tension crackled in the air, the distance between them widening. Her mother looked away, lost in thought. The flicker of understanding and fear in her eyes made Sarah's heart ache, but it also stoked her inner fire. I know it's a risk, she continued, her voice growing steadier, but I need to be true to myself. Please, can't you at least support me in this? Silence enveloped them, pregnant with unspoken fears and dreams. Sarah's resolve began to harden, the warmth of conviction igniting a newfound strength. In seeking her truth, she was learning how to assert her own worth against the monumental expectations that had long defined her relationship with her mother. I'll try, her mother finally conceded, though her brows still knitted in worry. But promise me you'll be careful. A breath caught in Sarah's throat, the relief mingling with irritation. Careful doesn't mean hiding, Mom. It means being brave. The words tasted bittersweet, wrapped in truth yet tinged by the anxiety of her journey to vulnerability. When she returned to the table, Alex's expression reflected a blend of anticipation and encouragement. Everything okay? More than okay, Sarah replied, her heart racing with determination. She felt like a novice standing at the precipice of a diving board, on the brink of an exhilarating leap. Remember what we talked about, Alex said, his voice steady and deeply resonant. Use your fears to fuel your fire. Right. It's time to compose, she declared, her mind rigidly set on the path ahead. With each passing minute, clarity poured into her, a dark river carving a new path for a future she had long yearned to embrace. Collaborating with the music she created in her solitude was a daunting prospect, but it was a choice she was now motivated to make, a way to capture her vulnerabilities in a form that could live beyond her own insecurities. So, where to start? She muttered, half to herself and half to Alex, glancing at him for guidance. Let us find a quiet space, unwind those thoughts. You've got this, he urged with an encouraging smile that sent shivers of resolve through her. As they gathered her thoughts, a blinding warmth surged within her. Hope was igniting a new chapter unfolding as she prepared to spill her story into melody. She sensed a new rhythm echoing in her chest, a pulsating beat that echoed the truth she was ready to claim. But as they stood to leave the cafe, the thought struck her, would she be courageous enough to stand before an audience, the world at her feet, after pouring out her heart? Realizing what was yet to come lingered like a vibrant hue on the horizon, much like the sunset she used to find solace in as a child. With that thought wrapping around her like a comforting blanket, Sarah felt the pulse of something monumental waiting just beyond her reach. Could she summon the courage to truly reveal herself in her first performance regardless of her mother's apprehension and the fears that lay dormant in her soul? The moment was not just an evolution of her artistry, it was an unfolding of Sarah as the woman she had dreamed of being all along. Yet standing on the brink of this potential was daunting, her determination intertwining seamlessly with the looming uncertainty of it all. And as she walked away from the cafe alongside Alex, she couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The silence murmured challenges and dreams in an intoxicating mix, and she understood, the true test was yet to unfold. Time to face the music, she murmured, her voice barely above a whisper. What awaited her would demand nothing less than every ounce of courage she could muster. Would she rise to the occasion, or could this be a disaster waiting to strike? The sun hung low, casting a golden hue across the park where Sarah stood, a notebook clutched tightly in her hands. It had been weeks since she embraced her dream, and the transformation within was palpable. Each note she penned was a declaration of her resolve, a storyline that transcended her fears. The urgency of self-expression pulsed through her veins, igniting a fire once stifled by doubt. Over time, she had dedicated herself to vocal training and songwriting, aligning with mentors who recognized her talent and encouraged her to embrace her narrative. Each lesson fortified her belief in herself, building a mosaic of courage from previous uncertainties and disappointments. Now, as she stood there, she was ready to unveil her first original piece at a local showcase, an opportunity that felt monumental. The past few weeks had been a whirlwind of open mics, late-night writing sessions, and emotional growth. The support of Alex had been pivotal, as he had become not only a mentor but a trusted confidant. He had pushed her, held her accountable, and celebrated her achievements, both small and significant. Together, they had crafted songs that spoke deeply to her experiences, weaving her journey into melodies that resonated with authenticity. As she fiddled with the corners of her pages, she reflected on her mother. The earlier tensions had thawed into meaningful conversations where her mother acknowledged Sarah's dreams, albeit cautiously. They were navigating this new landscape together. The fragility of their previous relationship hovered in the background, but Sarah had clung to the promise of personal evolution. The balance between familial care and self-exploration became a dance that required as much grace as it did courage. When the time arrived, the venue buzzed with a crowd buzzing in anticipation, nerves danced in her stomach, twisting and turning. As each name was called before hers, she felt pieces of doubt creep in, whispering of failure and reminders of past inadequacies. But this was the moment that challenged all of that, the culmination of every struggle, every tear, every fleeting hesitation, redefining her existence as an artist in the making. Sarah. Her name echoed through the dimly lit room, pulling her from the vortex of doubt. Heart racing, she stepped forward, the weight of the microphone sending shivers through her as she grasped it in her palm. The chatter dimmed, replaced by a palpable silence, a stage cloaked in vulnerability. Every eye connected with hers, each gaze a blend of anticipation and empathy. Drawing deep breaths, she launched into her song, a story of hope, resilience, and a refusal to be defined by her past. The harmonies danced around her, fueled by the energy of the crowd who felt every word she sang. For the first time, she experienced what it meant to be truly seen. The applause that followed enveloped her like a warm embrace, validating every ounce of hard work and every deep-seated fear she had conquered to arrive at this moment. As she stepped off the stage, exhilarating adrenaline thrummed through her veins, but she also felt the weight of accomplishment settle within her heart. The adoration she received couldn't merely be quantified by applause alone, it enveloped her in the recognition of her growth. She had achieved what was once unimaginable, a tangible transformation of self-doubt into something exquisite, proud, and real. In the days that followed, the ripples from her performance echoed throughout her life. Emails from music producers began filtering in, each validation further solidifying her pursuit of artistry. The feedback filled her with confidence, compelling her forward into uncharted territory. The anxiety that had once plagued her now faded into a symphony of recognition that propelled her deeper into her dreams. She understood now that true fulfillment required navigating uncertainty, and that the journey toward her aspirations would be marred with trials, but also intoxicating triumphs. With every song she penned and every stage she graced, she became less burdened by what others expected and more focused on what she could create. The closing chapter of her previous self was marked by sacrifices made for family, but the future glimmered as a promise of self-discovery intertwined with love for her mother. Sarah stepped into her new reality, evolving into an artist who was not just reclaiming her narrative but also uplifting those around her. With a heart empowered by her journey, she felt equipped to forge pathways to extraordinary endeavors. Though challenges awaited, she found solid confidence in knowing she was now firmly established in her voice, one that sang melodies of both struggle and triumph. The clarity of purpose sang loud in her soul, brimming with potential. "Let us make this a beautiful song," she whispered to herself, a commitment to pursue her craft with passion and intent. This was the moment she embraced fully, the beginning of a dream realized. As she walked forward, uncertainty danced behind her, but the light of hope glimmered ahead, illuminating a path only she could claim. Now is the time to transform your own dreams, invest in your potential, and embrace your personal journey. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive emotional stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, it really matters. Comment your reactions and theories about the ending, we want to hear your thoughts. Share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this conclusion. This is the moment to show your support. Don't wait even one more second to share. True fans of personal overcoming stories understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.